Can I fix this fuel gauge for free? What's up, YouTube? Today is June 10th, 2025, and I've got a gas gauge not working on this Simplicity. This is a 61-inch cut, so it's very common to the Ferris. A lot of stuff is interchangeable. That goes for this fuel gauge. So it is a model, what is this? A 5901798, I believe. It's got the 37 horse EFI fuel injected engine. So as you can see, I mean, this mower is only a few years old. It's only my third year of using it since it was new. I got a rag in here. I've done popped out the fuel gauge. So here's your fuel goes in, side tank. Gauge displays here. That gauge is not working. So if we look on the other tank, same thing, fuel here. This gauge is working. So these gauges are just pressed in. So you got to be careful, and you know, this is not professional advice. I'm just sharing with you guys what I did. I went around and I broke the law of tools. I used a screwdriver as a little pry bar, wedged under, and just kept working this around all the way around. Real easy, pried it up until I could get my fingertips under there and popped it out. So I'll show you the one on the bench. But what I assumed was happening was this was stuck. And the gauge was, it was on empty and it wouldn't move, whether the tank was empty or full. So you'd mow on this tank and the mower just shut off, you know, when it became empty. And then I would have to, you know, of course, switch the valve to the other tank over here and then restart the mower. And I thought, that's not good, all these restarts. I'd like to have a gas gauge that works so I can just switch it before it dies and causing a restart, you know, all this cycling, PTO on and off. So what I did was I pulled the fuel gauge out, and this one it's 12 inches long, you know, from here to the end, the whole thing, it might be 12 and a half. But this is the float. Okay, so what I did, I slid it up and down on here, and when I did, it twisted this thing, and the fuel gauge actually functions when you twist this. You can see that, see there, you twist it. So it's got this spiral, you know, on it, and as the float pushes up, it mechanically twists this and then displays the proper readout for your level, depending on where the float's at. So I took it apart, took it out, and it was free. It was not binding. There was no debris or any contaminations causing it to stick. The gauge worked, so I thought, well, maybe I broke it loose taking it out. So I proceeded to fill that tank that it came out of up with fuel. So it's got a full tank now. Put this back in, and guess what? It still did not work. So my conclusion is that this is porous and has absorbed fuel and become heavy, and it will not float even though it's unrestricted. So I took this off. You know, it had a little keeper here holding this in place. I just pried it loose. Pop this out, slid this off. And what I'm going to try before spending $40 on this piece, and that's another story. I did buy one. It was for the part number for this mower, and it fit in here, but it was only 9 inches long. And I thought, I don't want that. I'll have a quarter tank of gas and it'll still say empty. So it wasn't correct. So I sent that back, and I thought, before I buy another one, I've got nothing to lose. I might save approximately 40 bucks if I can get this to work. So what I'm going to do is, this is the bottom of the float down here. So I'm going to try to drill some holes in here. I got a 13/16 drill bit. So the most critical part is keeping it straight. I'm going to use my little vise. And you can see I just put some duct tape on here. I don't want to go, when I drill this, I don't want to go any deeper than right there, because you can see it'll get down, it would come through and leave a hole. So when this has some holes in here, it'll do two things. It'll lighten this piece, which will make it easier to float, hopefully, and it'll also put some air in there, so when I slide this down into the fuel, it'll create an air pocket. And if you create an air pocket, it gives you more buoyancy up and down this way. So stay tuned, and we'll drill this. We're going to put it back on here, slide it back down into the tank, get this seal, back in place, press it in, and of course we'll see if it's working, if the gauge is working. And I'm hoping it works, so stay tuned. Put that block down in there so I can keep it level. Of course, I'm not going to apply much pressure, just enough to hold it in place while I try to drill this thing straight up and down. That's good. Grab the drill here. All right, so there it is with 3/16 inch holes. You can see we got 4 holes drilled in there. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and go up to 7/32, which is just one size smaller than a quarter, and drill them out just a little bigger. I've got plenty of room now that they're centered. I know I should be okay. Have to be more careful on this one. It's a little more to the edge. So I'm going to drill them out just a hair bigger. All right, so there it is. Got it reamed out a little bit bigger. I guess, you know, if you wanted to, you could probably just drill this center one out larger as long as you didn't get too close to these sides. I'm gonna see what this does. Let me go blow this out with compressed air. I just took a razor blade and cleaned up the burrs after I took a bigger drill bit and turned it backwards, and then I just deburred it. So I'll blow it out with the compressor. I'll be right back. Got it 360 degrees out, so I got to turn this around. Okay, now we finally got it in the right position. Now to get this thing in there. So this has to go over this circle's got to go over the end of this. And we'll try to get the ends in first. Easier said than done here. So we'll go to plan B. We'll slide this up. Put this in first. Or we can spread it apart. Bring it down, clip it in place on the end piece. Now maybe we can, yeah, we got more leverage. We could spring this, hopefully, without messing it up and get it in there. There we go. If I get my fingers out of it, okay. Back in, full, slides up, it's full, slides down, all the way to the bottom goes to empty. So now, the big reveal to see if it worked. All right, back over here at the mower. Just rag out, place. Everything's been cleaned here. Set it down in the full tank. Fuel. It's actually moved up, so maybe I bent that rod. Let me try to see if I can get it straightened out here. Okay guys, so made some progress. It did come up, about a quarter of a tank, but it's still sticking. So if I tap on it, it came all the way up to 3/4. And I looked in my gas down there. Of course you can't see, but that's about where it's at. So 3/4, it looks accurate. Like I said, I had tap on it, so I'm gonna drill a couple more holes and see what that does. All right, now we got 6 holes in there, and I put this little one just a little bit bigger, so take 2. All right, guys, look at that. It did it. Hail's fire. So it actually worked. So the gas is dripping there. We got her in there, and it's sliding really free. As you put it in, you can see it coming up, and as I close that gap, it'll come up. I think there's about 3/4 of a tank in there. So I think I'm just gonna put a little bit of, I don't know, gas on there and slip that in. Just a little bit of Vaseline. I forget how the other one's oriented. Let me look at it. Okay, so the gas gauge piece is towards the driver, where it has the little gas tank pump on it. It's exactly perpendicular to the driver, so I want to get that right. Let's see if that's going down in there straight. It looks like it is. Oh, I need to turn it more. Pushed it too far down in. I can't turn it now. Thought I might need some room to twist as I went down, but I guess you don't. You can pretty much line it up, just push it straight in. It looks like. Put this over here more. OCD kicking in. Okay, now I want to push on the edge. I don't want to break my lens. In the middle, it's about a 1/16 of an inch from being seated right now. So I'm just going around the outside, firmly pushing it down. I think that's it. There it is. So we got it in there. Yeah, there it is. It's hard to see. Yeah, you can see good on this side. We got some light coming in. A little Vaseline. So yeah, take your time and be careful pulling that out. I mean, I did gouge my plastic just a little bit. Got a little screwdriver mark in there. Yeah, there's my finger right there. Other than that, it's okay. That's the amount of gas that's in there. So good deal. It's working. Perfect. Save 40 bucks. All right, guys, appreciate you watching. If you enjoyed the content, give me a like, thumbs up, you know the drill. Subscribe if you can. And then one other thing I want to talk about, these shop Scott shop towels. You guys, have you noticed how little teeny tiny around these have gotten? I mean, they're this, same price, but if they get any skinnier, these things are going to be unaffordable. I mean, a used up roll of duct tape is bigger around than that is. It's crazy. All right, enough of my complaining. You guys take care. Till next time, peace out.